Pokemon Legends of the Wild.
Is that not the name of it?
I mean, Pokemon Legends Arceus is a true departure from the tried and true Pokemon formula. Game Freak finally listened to the complaints of their fans, and they finally added in what we've been asking for years, for decades even. You guessed it, they actually added in fun. Who would have guessed? Not doing the exact same thing for multiple iterations of a franchise will lead to, get this, innovation. Hey, I'm Dr. Introvert and I don't support social interaction. So instead, I devote my time and effort into playing games so you don't have to. I know, it's a hard job, but with the world in the worst panorama of all time of human history, not to mention Omarion running rampant throughout the streets, you can't afford to buy the wrong game right now. Don't worry, you poor impoverished peasant.
Ain't that called alliteration?
I got you. Today we're looking at the newest game by Game Freak, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So let's jump right in it. Okay, quick disclaimer, I have beaten the game, so I've seen the end credits. I haven't done everything in in-game content, but I have beaten it. I've played it for about 37 hours. So I have the right to talk about the whole game as a whole. So there, before you say, oh, you didn't beat it, shut up, I did. So starting with the positives of the game, the biggest is the gameplay. It is unlike any other Pokemon game, and it is fun because of it. Almost everything you do in this game is in real time instead of the tried true Pokemon formula where you see an encounter and it goes to another screen to start up what you're supposed to do. To catch Pokemon, you just switch over to your Pokeballs and you just throw it, and you could just actually catch a Pokemon without doing any battling. See resources in the background? Just throw out your captured slaves and they will harvest all that material for you. And if you want to battle, just throw your Pokemon at that Pokemon. Like it's so simple, but it's so enjoyable. It's what we've always wanted to do when we play Pokemon. It's when we see Ash throw his Pokemon out. We wanted to do that forever, and we finally can. A huge addition to this game is crafting. Gone are the days of going to the Pokemon to refill your items. If your in-game character is as poor as you are in real life, don't worry about it. Craft your own Pokeballs, craft your own potions. You don't have to go to the store anymore. Just make sure you're collecting the materials you need to craft the items that you want. Another huge addition that they made is adding styles to moves. The two styles being agile and strong. By doing an agile style move, it gives you the chance to go twice in a row. However, that first move that you do, it does a little less damage. While strong does the opposite, it makes your move do more damage, however you could end up losing a turn. This small wrinkle in battling adds so much variety, nuance, and strategy to Pokemon that wasn't there before. Before this, you had to just think, is this move super effective? Will it do a lot of damage? Now you have to think, if I do this move and I get hit twice in a row, will I survive? Can I hit him twice in a row? Or you can get 2 turns in a row, and for your second turn, throw a Pokeball to catch your Pokemon. It adds so much nuance to this. This isn't even mentioning how you can run up on a Pokemon in real time and he just give you a 2-piece out of nowhere like your actual character. The next really big positive for this game is exploration. There are about 5 or so areas in the game you can explore, and they're all very different, especially aesthetically. And taking your time and exploring each one, trying to find new Pokemon and items, is so much fun. When you first start out, everything you do is on foot. You have to run or walk everywhere you go, but as you progress through the game, you get different mounts that allow you to explore more of the environment, and it just opens up everything as you go, and it's so beautiful the way it works. And the game organically makes you want to explore, because as you explore, you'll find rare or alpha Pokemon, which are Pokemon that are stronger than their normal forms, and running into one just by pure luck or just by pure exploration is so exhilarating. It's so much fun. Not to mention the cast of Pokemon you can find in the wild is pretty great. It's not every single Pokemon to this point. They take a lot from, I would say, Gen 1 through Gen 4-ish, but there's still enough variety to where you can make your team as many ways as you want to. For the most part, you can find several very viable teams that you can play with, especially if you find alpha versions of them. It's a wrap. This game really brought back the gotta catch 'em all that you felt when you first played Pokemon for the first time. My first Pokemon game was Yellow, and this made me feel that way when I played Pokemon for the first time. Now I get to be my genuine self. and poop on this game and talk about the bad stuff, because that's my favorite part. The first being the story. You can tell the effort that went into trying to write a story that you would actually care about. And I felt the effort. It just fell flat. It just wasn't interesting to me at all. I don't know what it is with Game Freak and writing stories, but they just need to outsource stories. Like, they don't need to have somebody in the studio writing the story, because it just doesn't work. I'm not gonna go into crazy detail about the story, but just know they saw this anime right here and was like, ooh, copy paste? And that anime wasn't good either. The game takes forever to get through, and it's not because it's like long. There's a lot of things to do in it, but there's so many cutscenes and people talking to you. And I'm like, bro, shut up. Just let me play the game. And I wouldn't care so much if they didn't throw it in your face all day. It takes you 30 minutes just to get through the tutorial of the game, because they're trying to show you all this stuff and give you all the training wheels, but also tell you about the lore and the story, and I don't care. Just let me play the game. And to further prove my point, these clips are sped up to almost 4 times the speed, and I've only used 3 cutscenes. So just think if they were the full length normal speed, this is like 10-15 minute long cutscenes of them saying nothing, of them just saying, just go to the next area, but they have to tell you all about the new area, and they have to say all these things that you have to read. It's just stupid. Yeah, you heard me correctly, read. There's no voice acting in the game. So that means all the cutscenes of you seeing people talk to each other, you have to just read what they say to each other. They don't actually say it out loud. And for all the money that Game Freak has making these stupid games that they've been making for the past 30 years, you would think they have enough money to hire a voice actor for some of the lines. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I hope for you, if you're playing this game, you have a higher than a 5th grade reading level, because there's so much reading to do. You have to read what they say to each other. You have to read the stuff in the environment. You just have to read everything when they could just say it out loud. If they thought I wanted to read, they could have made this as a book. Don't make this as a video game and make me read every single line for 40 hours straight with not a single noise of somebody talking. It doesn't make any sense. I cannot get invested in the story when I'm looking at a cutscene and I'm literally reading a teleprompter. It just takes me out of it instantly. Another big negative is how the game looks as a whole. There are times when this game is just ugly or it just doesn't work. Like, there are just things wrong. Like, look at this clip. I slowed it down. Do you see this white outline of my character on the ocean? What is this? They fixed this 30 years ago. What technology are they using? Sometimes you'll look in the distance and you'll see a JPEG of a tree popping on your screen. And I'm like, bro, did they make this on the Nintendo 64? You literally can find a Pokemon flying in the air. If it flies a certain distance away from you, it will turn into a GIF or a GIF, however you pronounce it. And I don't want to hear any excuses about the limitations of the Switch, because I know somebody's gonna come in here talking trash, talking about
Dr. Eckerberg, the Switch only has 5 megahertz and CUDA cores, and it doesn't have enough herp-to-derps to do that.
Yes, it does. I've seen them do it. Because Breath of the Wild came out literally 5 years ago with better render distances and better textures for all that environment with a way bigger map. I don't want to hear excuses for them. Game Freak has just as much money as the people who made Breath of the Wild on the same platform. They could have did better with this. Okay, don't worry. I hear your attention span from here. We're about to wrap it up. So let's go back over the positives and the negatives of this game. Then I'll give you a verdict at the end. First being the gameplay. It's fun to play. It's a fun game. Battling is fun now because they added that new mechanic of agile and strong. Catching Pokemon is fun because it actually matters and it's just fun to do. Just throwing Pokeballs out is fun. All the real-time mechanics that you use now instead of the turn-based stuff for everything is so much fun. It's just fun to play. The next positive was exploration. Finding new Pokemon, exploring the map, all of that is just fun and it's intuitive. The addition of mounts have been amazing. They existed in Pokemon games because you could surf and you could fly, but doing it in real time to explore your environment, it's just beautiful. It's seamless. And these two things work together in harmony so well. It's surprising that on their first try, they were able to make a game this fun. It works. Like, the mechanics all together work really well and it makes a fun game. Now for the negatives. The first main negative being the story. I feel bad for pooping on them because they really put forth effort trying to make this not a boring story. But they put in so much effort and it came out more boring. Not to mention their lack of voice acting and the fact that all of the cutscenes and their talking is so long, and I already hate to read, so me reading all of these stupid conversations for 40 hours, it just wasn't it. It didn't work. And the second negative being the pixels, so the graphics, I will poop on them for this. They have way too much money for this game to look this terrible. There's no reason for it. I know I made the joke about Nintendo 64 earlier, but this game looks like it was made for the Wii. I don't understand how they thought they could get away with this, but this is not it. The Switch is not that bad graphically, and for my character to walk around with a white outline and you can literally see his, like, the pixels falling off of him, they can't do that. They have to do way better than this for their next game, because this is ridiculous. So the verdict for this game, definitely buy this game. This is a cop. I know I talked about the negatives a lot longer. It's because it's more fun to me, but the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. This is a fun game. I very much liked it. So if you're deciding between eating for the week and playing this game, I mean, you can survive without food for a week. Statistically, you cannot die. And at least you'll be having fun. But we did it. We finally made it to the end of this video. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. You're one of the lucky few to watch all of it. So much greatness all together. So because it was so good, you better like it, you better comment, and you better subscribe. If I don't see it, if I know you didn't do it, we're gonna have to fight. But thank you for watching anyway, and I hope I see you in the next one.